My brother said I was too sensitive about Mom's favoritism until she forgot his wedding anniversary but remembered mine. It started small. Mom would ask about my job but cut him off mid-sentence about his promotion. She'd frame my kindergarten drawings, but his medical school diploma sat in a box. When we both called on Sundays, she'd chat with me for an hour, then tell him she was tired. "You're imagining it," he'd say whenever I brought it up. Mom loves us both equally. I stopped mentioning it after a while. It felt petty to keep score of a parent's affection. Then came his 10th wedding anniversary. He'd planned a surprise party for his wife, invited the whole family 3 months in advance. Mom RSVP'd yes immediately. The morning of the party, she called me. "What are you wearing to dinner tonight?" she asked. "What dinner?" "Our anniversary dinner. You and Owen have been married 9 years today. I made reservations at that Italian place you love." My stomach dropped. "Mom, Owen and I got married in March. Today is August 15th. Silence. "Oh," she said quietly. "Well, when is it then?" "It was 5 months ago. You sent flowers." More silence. Then she laughed nervously. "I'm getting old. These dates all blur together." "Mom, today is actually my brother's 10th anniversary. He's having a party tonight. You're supposed to be there in 4 hours. I heard her sharp intake of breath. "His 10th? Already? You RSVP'd. He's been reminding you for weeks." I must have written it down wrong. Her voice had that defensive edge I knew too well. "Well, I can't make it now. I already made these reservations." "Cancel them. This is important to him. The restaurant has a cancellation fee. Besides, you and Owen never celebrate properly. I thought I'd do something nice for you. We literally had dinner with you in March for our actual anniversary." She went quiet again. When she spoke, her tone was cold. "I'm trying to do something thoughtful, and you're throwing it back in my face. Fine, I'll cancel everything." She hung up. I immediately called my brother to warn him. He didn't answer. I texted, "Call me," about Mom. At 6 p.m., he called back. I could hear party noise in the background. "Mom's not coming," he said flatly. "She texted an hour ago. Said something came up. She didn't say what it was, just that it was unavoidable." "Why? What happened?" I explained everything. The phone went silent except for the party chatter fading as he walked away. "She thought today was your anniversary," he repeated slowly. "Yes. She made you dinner reservations." "Yes. For your anniversary that happened 5 months ago." "I'm sorry, I tried to. I've been talking about this party for months." His voice cracked slightly. I showed her the venue photos. I asked her advice on the menu. She helped me pick out the gift for my wife. "I know. And she forgot. Completely. But she remembered yours. Wrong date and everything, but she remembered." I didn't know what to say. "I need to go," he said. "My wife is asking where I went." He hung up. 2 days later, he showed up at my house unannounced. His eyes were red. "I went through Mom's phone," he said, walking past me into the living room. "She left it at my house after the party." My heart sank. "You shouldn't have." "There are 47 photos of you in her favorites album. 47. Want to know how many of me?" I waited. 3. And 2 of them include you." He pulled out his phone and started scrolling, his hands shaking. "Here's every text thread for the past year. She texts you daily." "Me? Maybe twice a month? And only when I initiate." "Here's her calendar. Every single one of your work events, your dentist appointments, your book club. Nothing about me except brother's thing written on August 15th. Not my name, not anniversary, just thing." "I didn't know it was this bad," I whispered. "There's more." He looked up at me with something cold in his eyes. I found her will. The air left my lungs. "What?" He pulled up a PDF on his phone. His finger trembled as he scrolled to the relevant section. "The house goes to you. Her retirement accounts go to you. Her investments go to you. The vacation property in Vermont goes to you." His voice was flat, mechanical. "I get her car. A 2011 Honda Civic with 140,000 miles on it." I stared at the screen, unable to process what I was seeing. "That can't be right. She wouldn't." "There's a note attached." He scrolled down. "To my beloved daughter, who has always been my greatest joy and comfort. May these gifts allow you to live the life you deserve." The silence stretched between us like a chasm. "Nothing about me," he said quietly. "Not even an explanation. Just a $40,000 car for the son who became a doctor because she said it would make her proud." I reached for him, but he stepped back. "Did you know?" "Of course not. I would never." "Did you ever wonder why she loved you more?" His eyes were wet. "What I did wrong? Because I've been trying to figure it out my entire life, and I can't." "You didn't do anything wrong." "Then why?" His voice broke. "Why wasn't I enough?" I had no answer. We both knew there wasn't one that would make sense. He wiped his eyes roughly. "I need to know if you're okay with this, with taking everything while I get nothing." "I'm not okay with it. I'll talk to her. We'll fix this." "Don't." The word came out sharp. "Don't talk to her about the will. I need to do this myself." "What are you going to do?" "I don't know yet." He headed for the door, then paused. "But I'm done pretending this is normal. I'm done making excuses for her. And I'm done trying to earn love from someone who decided a long time ago that I wasn't worth it." After he left, I sat in my living room for 2 hours, staring at nothing. Then I called Mom. She answered on the first ring, her voice bright. "Sweetheart, I was just thinking about you. Did you see that article I sent about the new art exhibit downtown? We need to talk about your will." Dead silence. Did you go through my things?" "My brother found it, on your phone. The phone you left at his house after missing his anniversary party. That document is private. He had no right." "You're leaving him nothing, Mom. A car worth maybe $5,000 while I get hundreds of thousands. My estate is my business. I can distribute my assets however I see fit. Her coldness stunned me. He's your son, and you're my daughter. The daughter who calls me every day, who visits twice a week, who actually wants to spend time with me. And because you make it impossible for him. You forget his important dates. You dismiss his achievements. You respond to his texts with one word if you respond at all. I respond when he reaches out. Barely. And you never reach out first. He's busy with his medical practice and his family. I don't want to bother him. That's not true and you know it. You make time for me. Hours of time. But you're always too tired or too busy for him. Mom's voice turned icy. I won't be guilt-tripped about how I choose to spend my time or my money. Your brother has a successful career and a lovely family. He doesn't need my help. This isn't about need. It's about showing that you love him. I do love him. Then act like it. Change the will. Split things equally. No. The finality in her voice sent chills through me. Mom, this conversation is over. Don't call me about this again. She hung up. I sat there, phone in hand, realizing I was seeing my mother clearly for the first time in my life. All the little moments I dismissed suddenly formed a pattern I couldn't unsee. The next morning, my brother texted, "Don't fix this for me. I'm handling it." But 3 days passed with no word from him. His wife called me, worried. He's not sleeping, barely eating. He keeps going through old photos, looking for proof that she loved him once. Where is he now? His office. He's been there since 6 a.m. I drove to his practice, found him sitting at his desk, surrounded by photo albums, old report cards, childhood artwork. I was valedictorian, he said without looking up. Perfect SAT scores. Full ride to college. Medical school with honors. I've saved 47 lives in my career. 47 people who are alive because of me. He picked up a photo of himself at his med school graduation. Mom wasn't in it. She didn't come to my graduation, said she had a migraine. But I found her credit card statement from that weekend. She took you to that spa resort in California. My stomach turned. I remembered that trip. She'd surprised me with it. Said she wanted mother-daughter time. I didn't know, I whispered. I swear I didn't know it was the same weekend. I know. That's what makes it worse. She hid it from both of us. He closed the photo album. Do you want to hear the really pathetic part? I still want her to love me. Even after everything, I'd forgive it all if she'd just see me. She does see you. She's just broken in some way that has nothing to do with you. Maybe. He pulled out a document from his desk drawer. I made an appointment with a lawyer. I'm going to challenge the will. That could get ugly. It's already ugly. At least this way, she'll have to say out loud why she thinks I'm worth less than you. The meeting with Mom happened 3 weeks later, at the lawyer's office. The attorney had sent her a formal letter requesting discussion of the estate plan. She'd initially refused, but her own lawyer advised her to attend. I sat in the corner of the conference room, there only because my brother asked me to be. Mom wouldn't look at either of us. The lawyers went through the formalities. Then my brother's attorney laid out the case. Mrs. Patterson, your will leaves approximately 95% of your estate to one child, and roughly 5% to the other. In cases of such disparity, we typically see clear reasoning, estrangement, financial need, debt, behavior issues. But from what we've gathered, your son is a successful physician, happily married, no financial or legal troubles. Can you explain the reasoning behind this distribution? Mom's lawyer whispered something to her. She shook her head. I don't have to explain my personal decisions. You do if this goes to court, my brother's lawyer said calmly. And I should mention, several estate attorneys I've consulted believe your son would have grounds to challenge this will based on the clear favoritism documented over decades. Favoritism isn't illegal. No, but undue influence is. And so is creating a will while under mental or emotional duress. Mom's face flushed. I'm not mentally incompetent. No one is suggesting that. But your son has documented evidence of a pattern of behavior that suggests emotional reasoning rather than sound judgment. My brother finally spoke. Just tell me why, Mom. That's all I want. Why am I worth so much less to you? Mom's jaw tightened. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then, because you're like him. Like who? Your father. The room went silent. Your father left me when you were 3. He decided his mistress was more important than his family. He looked at me the same way you do, with those same eyes, that same expression. Every time I see you, I see him. My brother's face had gone white. So you punished me my entire life because I look like Dad? I didn't punish you. I couldn't connect with you the same way. I was 3 years old when he left. I had no control over what he did. I know that intellectually, but emotionally, her voice cracked. Every time I looked at you, I saw him walking out that door. Dad left you. He didn't leave me. I was a child who needed a mother. I know. Do you? My brother stood up. Because you made sure I felt that abandonment twice. Once from him, once from you. That's not fair. Nothing about this is fair. His voice rose. You decided when I was 3 years old that I wasn't worthy of your love because of something someone else did. I spent my entire childhood trying to earn your approval, trying to be good enough, trying to figure out what I did wrong. And it was nothing. I did nothing wrong except exist with the wrong face. Mom was crying now. I tried. I really tried to love you both the same. No, you didn't. I spoke for the first time. You tried to love him less without admitting that's what you were doing. She turned to me, desperate. You don't understand. After your father left, I was so alone. Then I had you, and you looked like me. You laughed like me. Being with you didn't hurt. So you chose the easy love and abandoned the hard one, my brother said flatly. That's not parenting. That's selfishness. Mom's lawyer cleared his throat. Perhaps we should take a break. No, my brother cut him off. We're done here. Mom, you can keep your will exactly as it is. I don't want your money. I don't want your house. I don't want anything from you. Don't be ridiculous. You're my son. I was your son, a son you decided wasn't worth loving. So now you can have the daughter you actually wanted, and I'll be the child you can finally forget about completely. He walked out. I sat frozen, looking at Mom. Her mascara was running. Her hands shook. Fix this, I told her. I don't care about the money. I don't want it. But you need to fix this before it's too late. How? How do I fix 37 years? Start by changing the will. Split everything equally. And then what? He'll suddenly forgive me? Maybe not. But it's a start. She shook her head slowly. He hates me now. Changing the will won't change that. No, but leaving it as is will prove that he's right to hate you. I left her sitting there with her lawyer. For 2 months, I heard nothing from Mom. My brother refused to discuss her. His wife said he was in therapy, working through decades of rejection. Then, in October, Mom called me. I changed the will. Everything is split 50-50 now. Good. Have you told him? No, I don't know how. Call him. Tell him what you told me. What if he won't talk to me? Then you leave a message. You keep trying. That's what you should have been doing his entire life. She was quiet for a long time. I know I failed him. I know I can't fix it. But I want to try. Then stop telling me and start telling him. She did call him. He didn't answer. She left a voicemail explaining the will change. He didn't respond. She called again the next day, and the day after that. Each time, no answer. On the 4th day, she showed up at his office. His receptionist called him, unsure what to do. My brother came out to the waiting room where Mom sat, looking small and old in a way I'd never seen before. We should talk somewhere private, Mom said. They went to his office. He told me later what happened. Mom sat in the chair across from his desk and said, I'm sorry. I know that doesn't fix anything. I know it's decades too late. But I need you to know that I'm sorry. For what specifically? He asked. Because the list is pretty long. For making you feel invisible. For treating your accomplishments like they didn't matter. For forgetting your wedding anniversary while remembering your sister's wrong date. For leaving you a car in my will while giving her everything else. For every moment I chose her over you. For making you spend your whole life feeling like you weren't enough when the truth is, I wasn't enough. My brother said he couldn't speak for a full minute. I don't forgive you, he finally said. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But I appreciate you saying it. I changed the will. Everything's split evenly now. I don't care about the will. I care that you thought I was worth so little. I know, and I was wrong. You deserved better. You deserved a mother who saw you for who you are instead of who you reminded me of. They talked for 2 hours that day. Mom told him about the divorce, about the affair, about the pain that had colored every interaction with him for decades, about the therapy she'd finally started after our confrontation. My brother told her about the loneliness of his childhood, the confusion, the constant questioning of his own worth, the way he'd pushed himself to be perfect, hoping that might finally earn her love. When Mom left, my brother called me. I don't know if I can have a relationship with her, he admitted. The hurt goes too deep, but at least now I know it was never about me. Does that help? A little. It doesn't erase the damage, but it means I can stop trying to fix something that was never broken in me. Over the next year, Mom and my brother maintained careful distance. She'd text occasionally, short messages, nothing invasive. He'd respond politely but briefly. She didn't push. Then my brother's daughter, his second child, was born in December. He named her after Mom. Mom showed up at the hospital with flowers. My brother was standing in the hallway when she arrived. Why did you name her after me? Mom asked, crying. After everything, because she deserves to be named after the grandmother she's going to know, my brother said. Not the one I had, but the one you're going to be for her. If you want that, I want that more than anything. Then you need to show up. Not just for her, but for my son too. For all of us. Consistently. No more favorites. I will. I promise. And she did. It wasn't perfect. There were still moments when old patterns emerged, when she'd call me more frequently, when she'd remember details about my life that she forgot about his, but she caught herself now. She'd call him right after. She'd show up to his kids' soccer games and school plays. She put his family photos on her mantle next to mine. The real turning point came the following August, on my brother's 11th wedding anniversary. Mom called me that morning. What time is your brother's party tonight? My heart caught. It's next month, Mom. September 15th. Silence. Then she laughed, but it was different from before. Lighter. I'm so glad I asked you instead of just not showing up. Let me put it in my calendar right now. I'm setting 3 separate reminders. I could hear her typing. Done. September 15th, your brother's 11th anniversary. I'll be there. And she was. She was also there for his daughter's first birthday and his son's kindergarten graduation, and when he won Physician of the Year for his hospital. She took photos and posted them on Facebook with the same pride she'd always shown for my accomplishments. It wasn't enough to erase the past. The damage was done. My brother still struggled with feelings of inadequacy, still flinched when she called unexpectedly, still waited for her to forget him again. But it was something. It was a start. 2 years after that initial confrontation, we all gathered at Mom's house for Thanksgiving. My brother's kids ran through the house laughing. His wife and my husband set the table together. Mom and I cooked side by side in the kitchen while my brother mashed potatoes. You know, Mom said quietly, watching my brother play with his daughter. I wasted so much time. Yeah, you did. I can't get it back. No, you can't. She wiped her eyes. But I'm grateful for the time I have now. My brother looked up, caught her watching him. For a moment, they just looked at each other. Then he smiled, small, cautious, but real. "Turkey's almost ready," Mom called out. "Good, I'm starving," my brother replied. Later, after dinner, after the dishes were cleared and the kids were watching a movie, Mom pulled out an envelope. "I want you both to read this," she said, handing it to my brother. He opened it. Inside was a new will, signed and notarized the week before. Everything was split exactly evenly, not just the assets, but the personal items too. The house would be sold and split, her jewelry divided. Even her photo albums were listed separately, ensuring each of us got equal representation of family memories. But at the end was a letter. My brother read it out loud. "To my children, I am writing this while I am healthy and of sound mind, so there can be no question of my intentions. I am leaving you both equal shares of my estate, not because the law requires it, but because it is what I should have offered you in life. Equal love, equal attention, equal worth. To my son, I failed you. I allowed my own pain to poison our relationship for decades. I saw your father's face instead of your heart, his betrayal instead of your loyalty, his absence instead of your constant presence. By the time I realized what I'd done, the damage was deep and decades old. I cannot give you back the childhood you deserved. I cannot undo the birthdays where I spent more on your sister, the achievements I downplayed, the moments I made you feel invisible. I cannot restore the time I wasted or the confidence I damaged. But I can tell you this. You are extraordinary. You are kind, accomplished, devoted to your family in ways I never modeled for you. You became a wonderful person not because of my parenting, but despite it. Every patient you save, every student you teach, every moment you spend being present for your children, these are testaments to your character, not mine. You deserved better from me. I hope the grandmother your children know gives them even a fraction of what I failed to give you. To my daughter, I owe you an apology too. I put you in an impossible position, making you the favorite without your consent or desire. I made you responsible for my happiness in ways that weren't fair. I watched you struggle with guilt over my favoritism and did nothing to alleviate it because I was too selfish to change. You tried to make me see what I was doing. You tried to protect your brother. You tried to fix what I broke. Thank you for never accepting my favoritism as deserved. Thank you for refusing the inheritance until I made it right. Thank you for being the kind of person who values fairness over favoritism. To both of you, the only thing I can give you now is equality and acknowledgement. Equal inheritance, equal recognition, equal love, even though I'm decades late. This will cannot undo the past, but it is my promise that the future, however long I have, will be different. I love you both. I'm sorry it took me so long to show it equally. Mom. My brother's hands were shaking when he finished reading. He folded the letter carefully and put it back in the envelope. "Thank you," he said quietly. Mom reached for his hand. He let her take it. "I know it's not enough," she said. "No, but it matters." They sat like that for a long moment, hands linked, decades of hurt hanging in the air between them, but also something new, something like forgiveness, or at least the possibility of it. That night, as we were leaving, my brother pulled me aside. "I'm glad you made me confront her. I didn't make you. You did that yourself. You pushed me. I would have just disappeared, cut her off completely. Part of me wanted to. Would that have been better?" He considered this. "Maybe easier, but not better. At least now my kids get to have a grandmother, a real one. And you? I don't know yet. She's trying. That's more than I expected." We hugged, and I felt his shoulders shake slightly. When he pulled back, his eyes were wet. "I spent so long thinking I was the problem," he said, trying to figure out what was wrong with. "Now I know it was never me, but the damage is still there. The part of my brain that says I'm not enough, she put that there, and I don't know how to remove it. Maybe you don't remove it. Maybe you just add other voices, like your wife's, your kids', mine, people who see your worth even when you can't." He nodded slowly. "I'm in therapy. It helps. But every time Mom calls now, I still feel like that little kid, hoping this is the time she'll really see me." "Does she? See you now?" "I think so. Or she's trying to. Either way, it's different." He looked back at the house where Mom stood in the doorway, waving goodbye. "She's different. People can change." "Yeah. I just wish she'd changed 30 years ago." "Me too." As I drove home that night, I thought about all the small moments that had created the enormous gulf between my brother and our mother. The missed calls and forgotten dates, the unequal attention and uneven praise, the way love was given to one child freely, while the other had to earn it through perfection. I thought about the will, the original one that valued my life so much more than his, and the new one that finally acknowledged his equal worth. But mostly I thought about how my brother had to fight for something that should have been given freely from the start, a mother's love. 3 years have passed since then. Mom's relationship with my brother is still complicated, still healing. There are good days and hard ones. Days when he calls her just to chat, and days when her texts go unanswered because the old wounds are too fresh. But she shows up now. She shows up to every event, every milestone, every ordinary Tuesday when he invites her to lunch. She knows his children's teachers' names. She remembers his schedule. She asks about his patients without needing him to remind her what he does for a living. Last month was his 14th wedding anniversary. Mom called him a week before to ask what time the party started. "You remembered," he said, and I could hear the surprise in his voice when he told me about it later. "I set a reminder 6 months ago," Mom told him, "and I'm bringing your favorite cake." When I talked to him after the party, he said Mom had stayed late, helping clean up, playing with the kids, laughing at his stories. It felt normal, he said, sounding almost confused, like she actually wanted to be there. She did want to be there. Yeah, I'm starting to believe that now. The will still sits in Mom's safe, equal and fair. She updates it occasionally to reflect new assets, but the split remains 50-50. She's mentioned it several times, making sure we both know. Not because I think I'm dying, she told us last Christmas, but because I want you both to know, in writing, that you matter equally to me. I can't show you a document that proves I love you equally. Love isn't quantifiable, but I can show you that I value you equally. It's not the same thing, but it's what I have to give. My brother still struggles with the past. His therapist says some wounds don't heal. They just become scars, permanent markers of pain that hurt less over time but never fully disappear. But he's also building new memories. Ones where Mom shows up, ones where she remembers, ones where his children see their grandmother love their father the way he always deserved. Last week, his daughter asked him why Grandma takes so many pictures of him. Because she's making up for lost time, he told her. What do you mean? He paused, choosing his words carefully. Grandma and I had some hard years, but we're better now. Do you love her? His daughter asked. My brother considered this. Yeah, I do. Even when it's complicated. His daughter nodded, satisfied with this answer in the way only children can be, and ran off to play. Later, he called me to tell me about the conversation. Do you think she'll ever fully understand what happened? I asked. I hope not. I hope she grows up in a world where Grandma's love feels equal and unconditional, where she never has to count how many texts she gets or compare herself to her cousins to measure her worth. Mom's giving her that, giving all the grandkids that. I know, that's what makes it so complicated. I'm grateful my kids have the grandmother I didn't, but it also reminds me of what I missed. Does that make it harder or easier? Both. It hurts to see her be the mother she could have been, but it also gives me hope that people can change, even if it's late. Even if it's not enough to fix everything, it's something. We talked for another hour that night, about childhood and memory, about forgiveness and boundaries, about the difference between healing and moving on. I don't think I'll ever fully forgive her, he admitted. There's too much damage, but I can appreciate who she's trying to be now while acknowledging who she was then. That seems fair? Fair. He laughed bitterly. Nothing about any of this was fair, but I'm learning to be okay with that. That's where we are now. Not healed, but healing. Not whole, but no longer broken. A family that fell apart and is carefully, slowly, imperfectly piecing itself back together. The will sits in Mom's safe, a legal document that tries to quantify what can't be measured. The worth of a child, the weight of a mother's love, the price of decades of neglect finally acknowledged. It's not enough. It will never be enough. But it's honest. And sometimes honesty is the only foundation on which you can begin to rebuild. My brother deserved better. He deserved a mother who saw him from the beginning, who valued him from birth, who didn't make him earn the love that should have been his birthright. But he got me. And now, finally, he's getting a version of Mom who's trying to be better. Not the mother he needed at 7 or 17 or 27, but the mother she is at 63. Flawed, late, and doing her imperfect best to make up for decades of being worse. It's not the ending I would have written for us. In my version, Mom would have loved us equally from the start. My brother wouldn't have spent his childhood feeling invisible. The will would never have needed changing because there would have been nothing to change. But this is the ending we got. The messy, complicated, still unfolding ending where love is offered late and accepted cautiously, where change is real but insufficient, where wounds heal slowly if they heal at all. My brother carries his scars. Mom carries her guilt. I carry the weight of having been loved while watching him be forgotten. But we show up for each other now. We try. We acknowledge the past while building something new. And maybe that's not enough, but it's what we have. And we're learning, slowly, that sometimes what you have is enough to start building something better. The will in Mom's safe ensures that in death, my brother and I will be treated equally. But the real work is in life, in the phone calls and visits, in the remembered anniversaries and attended events, in the 1,000 small moments where Mom proves that she sees him now. She can't give him back his childhood. She can't undo the damage or erase the scars. But she can show up today, and tomorrow, and the day after that, and she does. It's not enough, but it's something. And sometimes when healing from deep wounds, something is where you have to start.